All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Kevin Naki here for Esports Weekly with Coca-Cola. I'm joined by Karrigan from TSM. You guys just came off of a 2-1 victory versus Cloud9 here for the CSGO tournament at IEM San Jose. And from what I've been talking to you before this interview, you guys have not had a lot of time to practice, have you?
No, we just had after our blowout from the major tournament, we basically took a vacation. We had planned for 6 months ago that we actually wanted to do small vacation just to take a break. So basically vacation for 14 days. So when we came home Monday, we had actually 2 days of practicing with official games, stuff like that. So we're a little shaky still because the communication is way off after 2 weeks where you actually don't play together, just play for yourself or whatever you do for that time. We have vacation. So shaky performance today against Cloud9, but hopefully it's less shaky tomorrow.
So you did drop one game against Cloud9, and there was in the earlier match of CLG versus G2, they came very close to winning a game in overtime as well. Generally, do you think that NA teams are getting a little bit better, a little bit more competitive, especially with these more established leagues, or do they still have a little ways to go before they catch up to the rest of the world?
I think the biggest problem is currently the meta, how every team has their own playing style, how you play Envy, how you play Fnatic, and every time the American has to play it like another European side, Gamers 2 is very, very reliable on the aim. The mid-runs calls is coming real random. They try to find where you don't cover stuff like that. So you play two different styles all the time. So it's hard for American all the time to play the same team. I just know they never like to play Virtus Pro any of the American teams because they have that style. So I think maybe they're getting a little better, especially after they have a CL League where they have actually 22 matches against other American teams that play all maps. So they actually know where the strengths in America and try to use it in Europe. But I think the problem is that the European has so many official games, so many things, and every time they come to a tournament like that, they maybe underestimate the enemies and play a little more loose, stuff like that. So I think it's everything just in one counter. But I still know that Cloud9 is good on cash against us. So I knew that if they had to win the series, they had to win cash and they had to take one of the other two maps. But I basically felt like we had to win all other maps than cash and cobblestone, of course.
For sure. Now, at the end of Game 2, of course, CLG did take that, but I think it was the 29th round. It was right at the very end. You had a sick 4-kill with the op there, almost got the ace. When you're in those scenarios, is there any sort of planning or strategy that goes in your mind through those few seconds, or is it all just pure reaction and preparation?
I just thought to myself, I just had to kill so many people as I could because if they would win that round and lose the next round, they would have 0 cash. So basically, I just tried to kill everyone I saw, and suddenly it was a 1 versus 2, and then I had to play it safe. I don't think so much about it. It's just it would be a knife if I get the highlight or stuff like that, and I would actually get the 15-14 round instead of 14-15. I didn't think so much about it while I was playing, but after the game, of course, said that you didn't actually win that round, and then this will be a sick highlight and a sick score to do it. It was because 29th round, so it was basically a very important round. So.
Well, you heard it right from Karrigan. His mind just blanks and he goes into God mode, and that's how you perform well at Counter-Strike. You heard it here first. Okay, so we talked about you guys have a lot of tournaments that have happened this year, and even with all these tournaments, it still feels like the calm before the storm for Counter-Strike, right? Because next year we know we have a giant televised league with Turner. We have these huge organizations that are battling over exclusive leagues right now. So are you excited for the next year of Counter-Strike? Do you think it'll actually be harder with all these big events, or do you think it'll be easier with less of these online events that you have to play all the time?
I think both things could be nice because we actually had so bad memories from all our major tournaments. So all the other tournaments we just try to keep on being better and better. So we have the smaller tournaments to prepare for the bigger tournaments. But the thing is, you get more bigger tournaments, you have actually to perform that day. So actually the team that performs better for 1 week or 2 weeks is the best team in that period, instead of having the whole year where you look at how many tournaments did TSM win, how many tournaments did Fnatic win, who won what, who was the most important win. So, but I think in the end it's better to have bigger leagues and then have fewer games online, so you actually can prepare, you can analyze enemies, you can actually use coaching way more than you actually do it now, because everything's just so random at the moment. You play so loose. No team is actually so that structured anymore. Even Titans have shocks calling. It's right. You see all these teams because you don't get time to actually practice that structure you want in a team. So I think next year is going to be maybe differently because you actually, every time you have a match, the enemy is going to prepare so much, because if you have one match per week in a big league like Turner, you're going to prepare for 1 week for that match. So it's going to be interesting how the teams are going to do it. But you have to think that way. If somebody's countering you, you're countering them. So actually you're countering yourself in in a mind-blowing way. So it's gonna be interesting to see next year. I'm very happy for bigger tournaments to come because it's bigger prestige than smaller tournaments all the time, and less traveling, of course.
I think we're all excited for those huge events too. They'll certainly be fun to watch. So, all right, well, thank you very much for joining us. I really appreciate your time, Karrigan. That's going to wrap things up for us here with Esports Weekly with Coca-Cola. We're going to be here at IEM San Jose all weekend long, though, covering the event. So keep it tuned here to IGN for more coverage.